I made this video because I can relate with the topic. Normally, I would script my videos and I would write down a few bullet points of what I'm gonna say and all of that stuff. But today I didn't. Today everything is coming straight from the heart because this was me so much in the previous years, and the lack of understanding on how to move forward is so paralyzing. It's so immobilizing. You're in a situation where you want to see better come out of your life, but because of lack of understanding and lack of fundamental knowledge, you stay stuck. So what to do right now if you're facing 3 a.m. loneliness or 3 a.m. motivation or whatever? I don't even know what I'm gonna title the video, but I first wanna start off with a story. We're gonna make a story about one person and we're gonna call that person Blue. Blue is a very, very, very talented individual. A young person. I think most of my stories in my previous videos have been about males, so we'll make it about a female. Blue is a lady, young lady, 17 years old. She has her goals that she wants to achieve in life. She has her passion. She has a dream for her life. She knows where she wants to be in life, right? But there's so many ups and downs in life, man, in Blue's life, man, that Blue kind of loses a little bit of hope, and Blue realizes that not all dreams come true, and that only specific people really get to the top. And so Blue, just like you, just like me, has all these anxious thoughts about whether they're gonna make it in life, whether they're gonna achieve their dream or not in life. And now Blue finds herself up at 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, can't sleep, mind racing. It's a cold night, so Blue is wrapped up in her blankets, desperate for sleep, but it's not coming to her. But she is tormented. She is conflicted with the 3 a.m. thoughts. The 3 a.m. thoughts. Oh, will I make it in life? Oh, nobody loves me. Oh, nobody loves me, man. Oh, I'm not gonna achieve my dreams, man. And so if you're like the main character of the story Blue today, and you find yourself watching this video maybe at 2, 3 in the morning when you could be sleeping, maybe you can't sleep, or maybe you're watching this middle of the day. Maybe you're watching this at 3 a.m. in the morning, right? And or 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, whatever. If you're going through this, you probably can relate. But there's two options. There's two ways to look at things. Most of the time when people are going through their 3 a.m. times of like they can't sleep, it's really because they can't sleep. Not necessarily they have insomnia, or not necessarily they have like, things that they're going through in their mind, or it's not necessarily that there's issues. It's just that you can't sleep. So what do you do when you're in this stage? What do you do when you're in this position you can't sleep, right? And I'm saying there's two things. There's two things relatively that one can do, because if we really think about it, you sitting or you laying in bed right now at 2, 3 in the morning, there is really damn near nothing that you can do to make things better or make things worse about your own life. So what should you do then? And the first thing I would say right now is to choose wisely. Choose very wisely what kind of thoughts that you're going to entertain, what kind of emotions you're going to entertain at this time. Just because you're alone and nobody's around, yes, you can be fully free and fully genuine and present, and you can express yourself in the manner that you want to be expressed, and no one's going to see you for who you really are, and no one's going to judge you. So of course, yeah, be yourself. But the parts of yourself that you're choosing to embrace at this time, the beliefs that you're choosing to internalize, the thoughts, the emotions that you're choosing to entertain at this time, can really have a huge effect on your well-being. Sleep is so important for our health. Sleep is so important for our mind, our emotions. And so when you deprive yourself of sleep, you're saying, you know what, I'm not going to use this night to properly rest and to recover and to rejuvenate, and so I can come back healthier and stronger. But now you're kind of just stuck with thoughts and ideas and beliefs, and so what now? And I said be careful, but I also want to just say, right, it's easy. It's so easy, man. At this time of the night, man, it's so easy to go into a state of either hopelessness or hopefulness. And I talk about hope a lot. I've been talking about hope a lot in my videos recently, man. But especially now that you can't really do anything with your time right now because it's like 2 in the morning, you really, oh, the only thing that you really have influence over is how, what perspective what perspective you carry, what perspective you hold right now towards your future or the future that you want to have. And so here's an example of how easy it is to be hopeless and hopeful, like the how easy it is to slip into these states while you're immobilized and you're, wherever you're at 3 in the morning. Take it like this, right? Obviously you can't work on your goals, right? So let's take me for an example. I want to be an influential YouTuber. I want to influence lives, change lives, and things of that nature, right? But at 2 3 in the morning, what are the steps that I could actually take that would be productive in leading me towards that direction? Probably very few. Maybe I can record a video, maybe I could edit or something like that. But if maybe I can't really do anything, let's say I've already posted for the day or for the month or for the week, let's say I've already made content, let's say I've already done the necessary things to push me in the direction of where I want to go. And now it's 2 in the morning, it's 3 in the morning, and I'm sitting there on my bed. This is where the example comes full circle. Now you're sitting there on your bed and you're wondering to yourself, man, like, will I ever be successful? Will I ever achieve the dream that I have in my mind, that I'm holding, the picture that I'm holding in my mind right now? Will I ever achieve that? Will people, when it comes to the case of what I'm pushing for, the dream that I have, will people respond? Will people's lives be changed? Will people appreciate? Will people, things of that nature? Or am I fit enough, am I strong enough, am I worthy enough to be an educator, to be a leader? And you just come up with all these ideas and questions that question your character, your integrity, who you are as a human being at these times. And that's why it's so important to feed your mind. Like at this point of time, it's so important to stay optimistic, to stay hopeful, to stay purposeful. Because the more you allow yourself to get anxiety over these thoughts and ideas that you may be having at these times, the less you're gonna even be able to sleep. You're only gonna be able to sleep when you're in a state of peace and calm. But you can only enter that place when you're, especially at these times, when you're engaging at comforting yourself, comforting your heart, your emotions, right? Yes, there is hope. Yes, you can be great. Yes, you can be an impact in people's lives. Yes, you can be a successful person, right? Yes, you can make it for the team, for the whatever. Yes, you can. Yeah, you're capable, you're worthy, you're capable of love. Yeah. Yeah, for sure, definitely. You have to literally tell yourself these positive things at these times of the day, because it's so easy to slip into a negative state of being at these times of the day, because generally your brain isn't, now there's a huge science to it, right? I don't know the huge science to it, but I just know, I have an understanding a little bit of how your dopamine system is affected by the times of the day. We're not going to get too much in terms of, the brain and brain science and life science and biology and all of that stuff. I just wanted to kind of highlight, what do you do right now? Because you're probably watching this video, 2 3 in the morning, like me, man. 2 3 4 years ago, you're just lying there, sat there on your bed, lying in your bed, and it's not like you're unproductive. It's not like you're not goal oriented. It's not like you don't have a vision for your life. It's just simply that you can't sleep. And it's like, what do you flipping do at this point? You can choose negativity or positivity because of how our mind and how our biology is at this time of the day. It's gonna be very easy to slip into negativity. So yes, this video was just to encourage you, give you a little, push forward, just to say, what, stick to staying positive. Yeah, you might not be able to sleep right now, but stay positive, stay hopeful, stay optimistic in everything. Yes, it's good to be realistic, but sometimes a healthy amount of good positive delusion is necessary for our happiness as human beings, right? Maybe you didn't get an 80 in your test or your exam, right? And it was a final exam, for example. Let's say it was a final exam, and now it's like, damn, now you're hyper realistic, right? You didn't achieve what you want to achieve, but now you're sitting there, at 3 in the morning. Oh, I'm such a failure. Oh, I'm such a loser. Or you could literally have some type of healthy delusion. Delusion basically meaning like a thought and idea of something that really doesn't exist, or that's not really there yet. It's not present. It's not done, but you still kind of believe in its existence and its potential. So you kind of sitting there now, instead of thinking you're a failure at 3 in the morning, you're thinking to yourself, you know what, man, I didn't get my 80 right. I didn't get the marks that I wanted to get. I didn't achieve the standard that I set for myself. So how do I still remain positive? How do I still remain optimistic? You use positive delusions, man. Like, you have to tell yourself, literally, bro. Yeah, I know next year I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna come back strong. Yeah, you might not even be doing the same course, the same module, the same, academic, whatever. You might not even be facing the same challenge. That's basically what I'm saying. You might not even be facing the same challenge, but because of the mindset that you had towards this challenge, you kind of want to improve, right, on the mindsets that you have towards challenges. Oh yes, I'm a confident, I am strong, I am brave, I'm courageous. Whereas back then you thought, no, I'm scared. Oh no, I'm a failure. Oh no, I'm anxious. I can't achieve. And so positive delusions is basically saying, I can, I'm good, I'm confident, I'm worthy, I'm capable, even though you might not be, or even though the outside world doesn't necessarily affirm or confirm those beliefs or those statements that you have about yourself. You're still saying them, even though they're not 100% true. You're still saying them because you have an understanding that the more you tell yourself something continuously, the more you'll believe it. And the more you'll believe something, the more you'll advocate it, right? You will die for what you believe in. If you told yourself you were confident 10,000 times in 1 month, how much would you believe it? And then you believe it. And so someone points a gun to your head and says, if you say that you're confident, I'm going to shoot you dead. And you say you're confident, and you're glad to take that bullet because you know this is who you are. You know staying true to yourself is one of your core fundamental values as a human being. So of course I'm gonna die because of the truth. And so healthy delusions is basically you taking a lie, right? Maybe not a lie, but you taking basically a statement about yourself that you don't necessarily believe to be true. So it could be a lie. Oh, okay, I'm ugly. Oh, okay, I'm weird. I'm awkward. And you start to basically replace them, right? Replace them with more healthy, even if they low key kind of like false ish. Whatever is believable for you, that's the main thing. Because if you go from believing that you're telling yourself that you're awkward to going to then saying, you know what, man, I'm not awkward. I am very, very charismatic. But you don't it's not something that's true to yourself. It's not something that like you find like you genuinely connect with this quality or personality trait. Then it's not going to be healthy and conducive for you, man. And so sitting down here at 3 in the morning, whatever, think about these things, man. What are some healthy, positive delusions that I can add into my life? And because it's 3 a.m. in the morning, you're most likely gonna start to believe it if you start telling yourself that, man. So, low key, man, at your own risk, man. I'm not saying black people should call themselves white. I'm not saying white people should call themselves black. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all, man. But what I'm basically saying is, in this time of 3 a.m., find opportunity to be hopeful, because the opportunity to be hopeless is always given to you. As humans, we are naturally pessimistic, meaning we just naturally negative. And so at these times, 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, when you're tuning into this video, just think to yourself, man, like, yeah, life might be going bad right now, but where are the areas life is going good? What can I appreciate? What are some beliefs that I can have Or what are beliefs that I do have about myself that are actually negative and they're holding me back, and what can I replace them with? Normally when we're alone and it's like late at night, those beliefs and thoughts really tend to come to the surface. All those insecurities and all those doubts and all those stresses and beliefs, they really start to come to the surface when you're alone and nobody else is there. And so challenge yourself, really ask yourself, question yourself, man, is this really what I think? Is this really what I believe about myself, man? And so those are the 3 a.m. thoughts, man. You might have 3 a.m. motivation, but at least use that 3 a.m. motivation to turn into a more disciplined, productive, purposeful person by adjusting your own belief systems about yourself, about the world, about what you deserve, about what you don't deserve. And then go to sleep. Sleep peacefully. Sleep with a smile on your face from a place of gratitude, because you know that you're actually sick. You're actually a sick person. Like, damn, you're actually such a proper cool person, right? But it starts here. It starts literally telling yourself, right? You believing this stuff for yourself. It starts now at 3 in the morning. Oh yeah, literally just in your bed, on your bed. So yeah, don't be depressed. You saw this video, man. That means don't be depressed, man. Be optimistic, all right, and challenge yourself. Challenge your ideas and beliefs that are negative about yourself. Use this insomnia at this time to challenge every flipping belief and doubt that you have of yourself, and try to change them. Remember, I believe in you.